The sun was setting over the Black Forest in Germany. Dark clouds filled the sky. The trees cast long shadows on the ground. Something was wrong in the forest tonight. Hans Muller had not come back from his work. He was a forest ranger who loved his job. Every day for 10 years, he walked the same paths through the trees. He checked on the animals and made sure no one hurt the forest. He always came back before dark. He always called his boss when his work was done. But today, Hans did not call. He did not come back. "It's not like Hans to be late," said Carl, the head ranger. He looked at the clock on the wall. It was already 8 p.m. Something must have happened to him. Carl picked up his phone and called the police. "We have a missing ranger," he said. "He went into the eastern part of the forest this morning. He should have been back hours ago." The police chief listened carefully. "The Black Forest is too big to search at night," he said. "But we have something that might help. We will send our K9 unit." 2 hours later, 3 police cars arrived at the ranger station. 4 police officers got out. With them were 2 large German shepherd dogs. Their names were Max and Bella. They were not normal police dogs. They were the best tracking dogs in all of Germany. A tall man with a serious face stepped forward. His name was Officer Schmidt. He was the leader of the K9 unit. "These dogs can find anyone," he said to Carl. "But we need something that smells like Hans." Carl took the group to Hans's small office. He opened a locker and pulled out a blue jacket. "Hans wears this every day," he said. "Will this help?" Officer Schmidt took the jacket and held it out to the dogs. Max and Bella sniffed it deeply. Their ears stood up straight. They were ready to work. "We need a map," said Officer Schmidt. "Show me where Hans was working today." Carl pointed to a spot on the big map on the wall. "He was checking this area," he said. "There's an old hiking path there, but not many people use it anymore." The police and the rangers grabbed their flashlights and first aid kits. Max and Bella pulled on their leashes, eager to start the search. Their eyes seemed to glow in the dim light of the ranger station. As they stepped outside, a cold wind blew through the trees. It made a sound like someone crying. One of the younger rangers looked scared. "There are strange stories about the eastern forest," he whispered. "People say it's haunted." Officer Schmidt did not believe in ghosts. "Nonsense," he said. "The only danger in this forest comes from getting lost or hurt. That's probably what happened to Hans." The group walked into the dark forest. Their flashlights made small circles of light in the darkness. The dogs led the way, their noses close to the ground. They followed a trail that only they could smell. After an hour of walking, something strange happened. Max and Bella stopped suddenly. Their bodies became stiff. They stared ahead into the darkness. Then they both began to growl. "They found something," said Officer Schmidt quietly. "Or someone." The dogs pulled hard on their leashes, leading the group deeper into the forest. The trees grew thicker here. The flashlights barely cut through the darkness. Then, in a small clearing, their lights fell on something that made everyone stop breathing. It was Hans. He was alive, but he looked terrified. He was sitting against a large oak tree. His hands and feet were tied with heavy chains. His uniform was torn and dirty. He had cuts on his face. When he saw the search party, his eyes grew wide. But instead of looking happy to be found, he looked even more afraid. "Go back," Hans shouted. "Run. They're still here." Max and Bella began to bark wildly, not at Hans, but at something in the darkness beyond him. Their barking echoed through the forest. Something was out there, watching them from the shadows, and the dogs knew exactly what it was. "What do you mean, they're still here?" Officer Schmidt asked Hans. His hand moved to his gun. The other police officers stepped closer, their flashlights moving through the trees. They saw nothing. Hans could not stop shaking. "I was checking the hiking paths 3 days ago," he said in a weak voice. "I heard strange sounds. Then something hit my head. When I woke up, I was chained to this tree." Carl kneeled next to Hans and looked at the heavy chains. "Who did this to you?" he asked. Hans shook his head. "Not who. What?" His eyes were wide with fear. "They only come at night. They watch me. They talk to each other, but not with words." The police officers looked at each other. They thought Hans was confused from being alone in the forest for days. Officer Schmidt took out a small tool from his belt. "Let's get these chains off and take you to a hospital," he said. He started working on the lock. Max and Bella were still barking at the darkness. Their behavior was strange. These dogs were trained to be calm and quiet unless given commands. Now they would not stop barking. Their fur stood up on their backs. They looked ready to attack. "Control your dogs," Carl said to Officer Schmidt. "They aren't acting like this for no reason," Schmidt replied. He looked worried now. "Something is out there." One of the younger police officers, named Thomas, walked a few steps into the trees. "There's nothing here," he said. "The dogs are just." He stopped talking suddenly. His flashlight showed something strange on a tree. There were marks carved into the bark. They looked like no letters or symbols anyone had seen before. "What is this?" Thomas asked. He touched the strange marks. As soon as he did, Max and Bella stopped barking. The forest became completely silent. No birds, no wind in the trees, nothing. Then Max did something that shocked everyone. He walked to Hans, grabbed the chain in his mouth, and pulled hard. The chain did not break, but the dog kept trying. Bella ran to Officer Schmidt and pulled on his sleeve with her teeth. She wanted him to follow her away from the tree. "What's wrong with them?" Carl asked. Hans looked at the dogs with surprise. "They know," he whispered. "Somehow they know." "Know what?" Schmidt asked. Before Hans could answer, all the flashlights went out at the same time. The forest became completely dark. The only things they could see were Max's and Bella's eyes. They seemed to glow with a blue light. "Everyone stay calm," Schmidt said. "It's just a power problem with our lights." Then they heard it. A low humming sound, like electricity running through wires. It came from all around them. The air felt colder, much colder. "They're here," Hans said. His voice shook with fear. In the darkness, they saw shapes moving between the trees. Tall, thin shapes that did not move like humans. They made no sound when they walked. The police officers tried to turn on their flashlights again. Nothing worked. They pulled out their guns, but they couldn't see what to shoot at. Max and Bella started to change. Something was happening to them. Their eyes glowed brighter. They stood very still, watching the shapes in the darkness. Then Bella did something impossible. She spoke. Not with a human voice, but somehow, everyone heard her words in their minds. "Stand behind us," the voice said. "We are guardians. We protect humans in this forest. We have done this for many years." No one could believe what was happening. Dogs don't talk. But they all heard it. Max's voice came next. "These creatures are not from your world. They come through the old trees. They take humans. They have done this for many years. But we stop them. We always stop them." Schmidt looked at his dogs with disbelief. "What is happening?" he asked. Hans seemed less afraid now. "In the 3 days I was here, I saw them talking to each other," he said. "The creatures were afraid of the dogs. They stayed away when wolves came near." The shapes in the darkness moved closer. There were 5 of them now. They made a circle around the tree. Max and Bella moved to stand between the humans and the shapes. Their bodies began to glow with blue light. They looked bigger somehow, stronger. "Now you will see why these are not normal dogs," Hans said. Max and Bella stood side by side. The blue light around them grew brighter. Their bodies began to change. They grew larger, much larger. Their fur became thick and shiny. Their eyes were like blue fire. They were no longer just dogs. They were something ancient and powerful. "What's happening to them?" Thomas whispered. He could not believe his eyes. Officer Schmidt watched his dogs change. His hands shook. "I've had them since they were puppies," he said. I never knew they were special." The shapes in the darkness moved closer. Now everyone could see them better. They were tall, thin creatures. They had long arms and legs. Their skin was pale white. They had no faces, just smooth skin where eyes and mouths should be. Max's voice came into everyone's minds again. "We are the forest guardians. We take the shape of dogs to live among humans. For 1,000 years, we have protected this forest." Bella spoke next. "These creatures are the silent ones. They come from the spaces between worlds. They take humans to learn about them. But they do not understand that humans die when they are kept too long." The silent ones moved in a circle around the humans. They made the humming sound again. It hurt everyone's ears. Hans covered his ears. "They've been doing this for days," he said. "They're talking to each other." One of the silent ones stepped forward. It was taller than the others. It raised a long, thin arm and pointed at Hans. Max growled. The sound was deep and powerful, not like a normal dog. He jumped forward. He was now the size of a small horse. His teeth were long and sharp. The silent one stepped back quickly. "They're afraid of the dogs," Carl said. He watched with wide eyes. "Not dogs," Bella's voice said in their minds. "Guardians. We are the last of our kind." Officer Schmidt finally got the chains off Hans. Hans stood up on shaky legs. He had been sitting against the tree for too long. "We need to get out of this forest," Schmidt said. "Everyone stay together." But the silent ones blocked their path. There were more of them now, maybe 10 or 12. They made a tight circle around the humans and the 2 guardian dogs. "They won't let us leave," Hans said. "They've been studying me. Now they have more humans to study." Max and Bella moved to stand on opposite sides of the group. The blue light from their bodies lit up the clearing. Now everyone could see the silent ones clearly. "Do not be afraid," Max's voice said. "We have fought them before. We will protect you." The tallest silent one made a movement with its hands. Suddenly, the strange marks on the trees began to glow with green light. The humming sound got louder. "They're opening a doorway," Bella's voice warned. "They want to take you all to their world." The air in the middle of the clearing began to twist and turn. It looked like water going down a drain. A hole opened in the air. Through it, they could see a strange place. It was like a forest, but the trees were white and had no leaves. The sky was green. Nothing moved there. "That's where they took the other missing people," Hans said. His face was white with fear. "I saw them drag 2 hikers through a hole like that. The hikers never came back." "Other missing people?" Carl asked. "There are more." Hans nodded. 5 or 6, at least. I heard them screaming from the other side. Max jumped at the tall, silent one. His huge jaws closed around its arm. The creature made no sound, but it pulled away. Black liquid dripped from its arm. "They can be hurt," Max's voice said. "They can be killed." The silent ones moved back. The hole in the air grew larger. Bella turned to Officer Schmidt. "There is only one way to close the doorway," her voice said in his mind. "We must use the old magic, but we need your help." "My help?" Schmidt asked. "What can I do?" "You raised us," Bella said. "You loved us. That created a bond. Now that bond will give us power." Bella looked at Max, who was still facing the silent ones. "We will show you what to do," she said. "But you must be brave. Very brave." "What do I need to do?" Officer Schmidt asked. His voice shook, but his eyes were strong. He had worked with Max and Bella for 5 years. He trusted them with his life. Bella walked to Schmidt and put her large head against his chest. "Put your hands on both of us," her voice said in his mind. "Think about the day you first met us. Remember the feeling." Schmidt kneeled down. He put one hand on Bella's head and reached out to Max with the other. Max backed up slowly, still facing the silent ones. until he felt Schmidt's hand on his back. "I remember," Schmidt said quietly. "You were both so small. Just puppies. You fit in my hands." As he spoke, the blue light around the dogs grew brighter. It moved up Schmidt's arms like water flowing in a river. Soon, his whole body glowed with the same blue light. The silent ones moved back. They did not like this new light. "The bond between humans and guardians is ancient," Max's voice explained. "Long ago, all guardians had human partners. Together, we kept the silent ones in their own world." Thomas looked at Schmidt with wide eyes. "What's happening to you?" he asked. Schmidt felt strange. He could feel the forest around him in a new way. He could hear the trees. He could feel the earth under his feet. Most of all, he could feel Max and Bella, not just their fur under his hands, but their thoughts, their strength, their love for him. "I can feel everything," Schmidt said in wonder. The hole in the air was getting bigger. More silent ones were coming through from the other side. There were too many now to count. "We must close the doorway," Bella's voice said. "Schmidt, you must help us." The blue light moved from Schmidt's body into the ground. It spread like roots from a tree, moving across the forest floor. When it reached the trees with the strange marks, something amazing happened. The marks changed. The green light turned blue. "The silent ones use these marks to open doorways," Max explained. "We can change the marks. We can close the door." The tall, silent one seemed angry. It made quick movements with its hands. The other silent ones moved toward the humans. "Stay behind us," Max's voice commanded. Max and Bella stood side by side again. They opened their mouths and a sound came out, not a bark or a growl, but a deep, powerful song. It sounded like many voices singing together. The blue light shot from their mouths into the hole in the air. The edges of the hole began to close slowly. The silent ones rushed forward. They wanted to stop the dogs. 2 police officers fired their guns. The bullets hit the silent ones, making holes in their bodies. Black liquid poured out, but the creatures kept coming. "Help them," Hans shouted to Schmidt. "Use the bond." Schmidt didn't know what to do, but he trusted his dogs. He closed his eyes. He thought about all the years with Max and Bella, the training, the work, the quiet evenings at home, the trust between them. Something new happened. The blue light coming from Schmidt grew stronger. It flowed into Max and Bella. The dog's song became louder. The hole in the air closed faster. The silent ones made the humming sound again. It was louder now, angry. Some of them grabbed at the edges of the closing hole, trying to keep it open. "It's working," Carl said. "The hole is closing." But the tall, silent one was not giving up. It ran straight toward Schmidt. Its long arms reached out to grab him. Max jumped. His huge body hit the silent one with great force. They fell to the ground, fighting. The silent one's long fingers scratched at Max's face. "Max," Schmidt shouted. He tried to help, but Bella stopped him. "Don't break the connection," her voice said. "We need your strength." The hole was almost closed now. The silent ones on the other side could not get through. The ones in the forest were trapped. Max and the tall, silent one rolled on the ground. Then Max did something that shocked everyone. He put his paw on the silent one's chest. Blue light shot from his paw into the creature's body. The silent one froze. Then, slowly, it began to change. The tall, silent one's body shook under Max's paw. The blue light spread all over it. Its smooth face began to change. A mouth appeared, then eyes, then a nose. Its white skin turned pink. Its long arms and legs grew shorter. Everyone watched in shock. The silent one was turning into a human. When the change was done, a young man with brown hair lay on the ground. He looked about 20 years old. He wore hiking clothes that were dirty and torn. "It's one of the missing hikers," Hans said. He could not believe his eyes. They turned him into one of them. The young man opened his eyes. He looked confused. "Where am I?" he asked in a weak voice. "What happened to me?" Max stepped back. He was tired from using so much power. "The Silent Ones do not take humans just to study them," his voice said in everyone's minds. "They change humans into their own kind. They need more of their people." The other Silent Ones saw what happened to their leader. They made angry humming sounds. 3 of them ran toward Max, who was weak after changing the Tall One back. Bella jumped in front of her friend. She opened her mouth and blue fire shot out. It hit the 3 Silent Ones. They fell back, but were not hurt. "We do not want to harm them," Bella's voice explained. "They are just scared. They think their world is dying. They want to move to our world." The hole in the air was almost closed now. Just a small opening remained. The Silent Ones still in the forest knew they had lost. They backed away into the trees. Schmidt helped the young hiker sit up. "What's your name?" he asked. "Michael," the young man said. "I was hiking 3 weeks ago. They grabbed me. They put me in a strange place. They did things to me. I started to forget who I was. I started to change." Hans put his hand on Michael's shoulder. "The same thing almost happened to me," he said. "They kept me here for 3 days. I think they were getting ready to take me to their world." Carl looked at the other Silent Ones hiding in the trees. "Are they all humans who were changed?" he asked. Max shook his big head. "No, most are true Silent Ones, but they can change humans to be like them. They have done this many times over many years. We need to change them back," Schmidt said. He looked at the trees where the Silent Ones were hiding. "If any of them were human once, we need to help them." Max and Bella looked at each other. They seemed to be talking without words. Then Bella spoke to everyone's minds. "We can try," her voice said, "but it takes much power. Max is already weak. I cannot do it alone." The young police officer, Thomas, stepped forward. "What if we all help?" he asked. "Schmidt's bond with you made your power stronger. What if we all tried to make a bond?" Carl nodded. "Yes. I've had dogs all my life. I understand the bond between dogs and humans." Hans stood up straight. "And I've worked in this forest for 10 years. I love this place. I want to protect it." Max and Bella looked at the humans with new respect. "It might work," Max's voice said. "In the old days, every guardian had a human partner. The bond made both stronger." Bella walked to the middle of the group. "Everyone, put your hands on me," her voice said. "Think about the dogs you have loved. Think about the forests you have walked in. Think about the bond between humans and nature." Everyone put their hands on Bella's back. Even Michael, the hiker who had been changed, joined them. They closed their eyes. They thought about what Bella had said. The blue light grew again. It was brighter than before. It spread from Bella to everyone in the circle. It flowed into the ground, up the trees, into the air. The Silent Ones in the trees made soft humming sounds. They seemed curious now, not angry. Max stood up. He had rested and was stronger now. "They feel the change," he said. "For the first time, they understand what they have done wrong." The hole in the air closed completely with a sound like thunder. The forest was dark again except for the blue light coming from the circle of humans and the 2 guardian dogs. "Now," Bella's voice said, "we will show you the true power of the bond between humans and guardians." The blue light from the circle of humans and guardian dogs shot up into the sky like a big blue tree. It was so bright that people in towns far away could see it. They thought it was a strange storm in the Black Forest. Inside the circle, something amazing happened. The humans began to see pictures in their minds. They were seeing the memories of Max and Bella, memories that went back hundreds of years. "These are not just our memories," Max's voice explained. "These are the memories of all guardians who came before us. We carry them inside us." The pictures showed the Black Forest long ago. It was bigger then. There were small villages inside it. In each village, there were huge dogs that looked like Max and Bella. These were the guardians. Each guardian lived with a human family. They protected the villages from the silent ones. For 1,000 years, humans and guardians lived together in peace. Bella's voice said, "We kept the doorways between worlds closed. The silent ones stayed in their world." Then the pictures changed. They showed people cutting down trees. They showed new towns being built. They showed roads and cars. As the forest got smaller, the old villages disappeared, Max said. People forgot about the guardians. They forgot about the silent ones. The bond between humans and guardians grew weak. The pictures showed the guardians changing into normal-looking dogs. They began to live with normal people who did not know what they really were. "We had to hide what we are," Bella explained. "We became police dogs, farm dogs, pets. We still watched for the silent ones, but we could not tell humans about the danger." The next pictures were sad. They showed the silent ones finding old doorways in the forest. They showed people going missing. The guardians tried to help, but without human partners who knew the truth, they were not strong enough. "That's why this night is so important," Max said. "For the first time in hundreds of years, humans know about us again. The bond is back." The pictures stopped. Everyone opened their eyes. The blue light was still all around them. It filled the clearing and lit up the trees. The silent ones were still hiding in the forest, but now they did not look scary. They looked lost and confused. Michael, the hiker who had been changed back, stood up. He looked at the silent ones. "They are scared," he said. "I remember how it feels to be one of them. They don't understand our world. They don't understand humans." Schmidt turned to Max and Bella. "Can we talk to them?" he asked. "Can we help them understand?" Max nodded his big head. "With the bond this strong, we can do many things," he said. "We can make them hear our thoughts like you hear ours." Bella walked to the edge of the blue light. She looked at the silent ones hiding in the trees. She made a soft sound, not a bark, but more like a song. 3 silent ones slowly came out of the trees. They walked to the edge of the blue light. They did not try to enter it. They seemed afraid of the light. "They think we want to hurt them," Michael said. "When I was one of them, I could feel what they feel. They are not evil. They are just different." Schmidt stepped forward. "Tell them we want to help," he said to Max and Bella. "Tell them we can find a way to live in peace." Max and Bella sang together. The blue light reached out to the silent ones like gentle hands. It touched them, but did not hurt them. Then a new voice came into everyone's minds. It was not Max or Bella. It was different, like music made of ice. "Why do you help us?" the voice asked. "We took your people. We changed them." It was the silent ones. They were talking to the humans through the guardian's power. Hans stepped forward. "Because that's what humans do," he said. "At least, that's what the best humans do. We help those in need, even if they hurt us." The silent ones were quiet for a long time. Then their voice came again. "We did not know," they said. "In our world, it is not this way." Max's voice came to everyone. "This is the start of something new," he said. "Something that has not happened before. Humans, guardians, and silent ones talking together." Bella added, "But there is still danger. Some of the silent ones do not want peace. They want to take over this world." The blue light flickered. Far away in the forest, they heard an angry humming sound. "They are coming," the silent ones by the light said. "The others, the ones who changed your people, they are coming to stop this." Everyone looked into the dark forest. They could hear the humming sound getting louder. Through the trees, they saw many shapes moving toward them. These were more silent ones, maybe 20 or 30 of them. "They want to open the doorway again," said one of the friendly silent ones. "They want to bring more of our kind to this world." Officer Schmidt looked at Max and Bella. "What can we do?" he asked. "There are so many of them." Max stood tall, his blue light shining bright. "We fight," he said simply. "We protect this forest. We protect this world. That is what guardians do." The three friendly silent ones stepped into the blue light. It did not hurt them. They stood with the humans. "We will help you," they said. "Not all of our kind want war. Some of us just want to understand your world." Michael put his hand on one of the silent ones. "I was one of them," he said. "I know how they think. I can help." Hans looked worried. "But how can we fight them? We're just normal people." Bella walked to Hans and touched his leg with her nose. "No human is just normal," her voice said kindly. "All humans have power inside them. You just forgot how to use it." The blue light around the group grew stronger. It moved from the guardians into the humans. Schmidt felt it first. The light went into his hands, making them glow. "I can feel it," he said in wonder. "It's like being more alive." One by one, the other humans began to glow too. Even Michael and the three friendly silent ones had blue light around them. "The bond makes us all stronger," Max explained. "Humans, guardians, even silent ones who choose peace." The unfriendly silent ones reached the edge of the clearing. They stopped when they saw the glowing group. Their humming got louder and angrier. "They are calling for help," said one of the friendly silent ones. "They are trying to open another doorway." Sure enough, the air at the other side of the clearing began to twist and turn. A new hole started to open. "We must stop them," Bella said. "Everyone, focus your light on the new hole. Think about closing it." The whole group turned to face the new doorway. They held out their glowing hands. The blue light shot from their fingers toward the hole. It hit the edges of the hole, pushing it closed. The silent ones made angry sounds. Some of them ran toward the group. They had long, sharp fingers like claws. Max jumped forward to meet them. He was huge now, the size of a horse. His teeth were like swords. He knocked down two silent ones with one jump. The police officers used their guns. The bullets glowed blue now. When they hit the silent ones, they didn't kill them. Instead, the bullets stuck to them and covered them with blue light. The silent ones fell to the ground, unable to move. "We don't need to hurt them," Schmidt shouted. "Just stop them." Carl and Hans found long sticks on the ground. When they picked them up, the sticks glowed blue. They used them like swords, hitting the silent ones who got too close. Thomas, the young police officer, discovered he could throw blue light from his hands. It looked like balls of fire. When these hit the silent ones, they froze in place. Bella stayed in the middle of the group. She was singing her strange song. Her voice gave power to everyone else. The blue light flowed from her to all the others. The friendly silent ones helped too. They could talk to the other silent ones in their own language. Some of the attackers stopped fighting when they heard this. They looked confused. Michael walked toward these confused silent ones. "You don't have to fight," he said to them. "There is another way. We can help you." Some of the silent ones backed away. They did not want to fight anymore. But others kept attacking. They were the oldest and strongest of their kind. The battle moved all around the clearing. Blue light and angry humming filled the air. Trees shook. The ground trembled. Then something unexpected happened. The oldest silent one, a very tall one with 6 fingers on each hand, raised its arms high. The strange marks on the trees all lit up at once. The ground split open. From deep underground, something huge began to rise. "Oh no," Max's voice said in everyone's minds. "They are waking the forest eater. This is very bad." The ground shook hard. Trees fell over. A huge crack opened in the middle of the clearing. From this crack came a terrible smell, like dead plants and old mud. "What is the forest eater?" Schmidt asked Max. He had to shout over the loud noise of the breaking ground. "It is very old," Max answered. His voice in their minds sounded worried. "It sleeps under the forest. It eats trees and life. Long ago, The first guardians put it to sleep. Now the silent ones are waking it up. Something huge and dark began to rise from a crack in the ground. It looked like a giant worm, but it had many legs like a centipede. Its skin was black and shiny. It had no eyes, but it had a mouth full of teeth like sharp stones. It will eat everything, Bella warned. First the forest, then the towns, then the cities. It never stops eating. The forest eater rose higher and higher. It was as tall as 5 men standing on each other's shoulders. It made a sound like rocks breaking. The oldest silent one stood in front of the forest eater. It seemed to be controlling the monster. Its hands moved in strange patterns, and the forest eater moved the same way. All the fighting stopped. Everyone, humans and silent ones alike, stared at the huge monster. Even the unfriendly silent ones looked scared now. "This is not what we wanted," one of the friendly silent ones said. "The old ones told us the forest eater would help us make a new home. They did not tell us it would destroy everything." The forest eater bent down. Its huge mouth opened wide. It bit a tree and pulled it out of the ground, roots and all. It ate the whole tree in one bite. "We have to stop it," Hans said. "If it gets out of the forest, it will eat the towns too." Max and Bella looked at each other. They seemed to be talking without words again. Then Max spoke to everyone. "There is only one way to stop the forest eater," he said. "All the guardians must join together. But there are only 2 of us now." "What about us?" Schmidt asked. "Can we help?" Bella walked to the middle of the group. "Yes," she said. "With the bond, humans can become temporary guardians. But it is dangerous. You might get hurt." "I'll do it," Schmidt said without hesitation. "These are my dogs. This is my forest too." "Me too," said Hans. "I've been a forest ranger for 10 years. I will protect this place." One by one, all the humans agreed to help. Even Michael and the friendly silent ones joined in. "Stand in a circle," Max told them. "Hold hands. Think about the forest. Think about life growing. Think about protecting this world." Everyone did as Max said. They made a circle around Bella. They held hands. The blue light grew stronger. It moved faster between them. Bella began to sing. Her song was beautiful and sad. It was the song of the guardians, passed down for thousands of years. As she sang, something amazing happened. The humans and friendly silent ones began to change. They grew larger. Their eyes began to glow blue. They were becoming like the guardians. Schmidt felt the change in his body. He felt stronger. He could see better. He could smell the forest and the silent ones and the forest eater. Most of all, he could feel the life in the forest. Every tree, every plant, every animal. The oldest silent one saw what was happening. It made angry movements with its hands. The forest eater turned toward the circle of new guardians. It opened its huge mouth and moved to eat them. Max jumped high in the air. He was enormous now, bigger than ever before. He landed on the forest eater's head. His teeth bit into the monster's skin. Black liquid poured out. The forest eater made a horrible sound. It shook its head, trying to throw Max off. But Max held on. "Now," Max shouted in everyone's minds, "while I hold it. Attack together." The circle of new guardians raised their hands. Blue light shot from their fingers. The light hit the forest eater from all sides. The monster screamed. Its skin began to crack where the light touched it. The oldest silent one ran forward. It tried to stop them, but it was too late. The forest eater's body began to break apart. Light shined through the cracks in its skin. It was dying. But the battle was not over yet. The forest eater was breaking apart. Cracks of blue light covered its huge body. But it was not giving up. It swung its massive head and knocked Max off. The giant guardian dog fell to the ground hard. "Max!" Schmidt shouted. He ran to his dog, his body still glowing with blue light. The oldest silent one saw its chance. It jumped onto the forest eater's back. It put its six-fingered hands on the monster's skin. Green light flowed from the Silent One into the Forest Eater. The cracks started to close. "It's healing the monster," Hans shouted. "We have to stop it." Bella ran to Max. He was hurt, but not badly. He stood up slowly. "We need more power," Max said. His voice was weak in their minds. "The Forest Eater is too strong." The friendly Silent Ones stepped forward. "We know what to do," they said. "In our world, we also have guardians. They taught us songs of power." The three friendly Silent Ones began to make a strange, beautiful sound. It was like singing, but also like the wind and rain. As they sang, the green light from the oldest Silent One grew weaker. Michael, who had once been a Silent One, understood the song. He joined in. His voice mixed with theirs perfectly. "They're singing about peace between worlds," he explained between verses. "They're singing about balance." The song grew louder. All the humans felt it in their hearts. Without knowing the words, they began to hum along. The blue light around them pulsed with the song. The Forest Eater screamed. It didn't like the song. It tried to move away, but its body was too heavy. The oldest Silent One on its back looked confused. Its green light flickered. Then Bella did something amazing. She jumped high in the air. She landed next to the oldest Silent One on the Forest Eater's back. Instead of attacking, she touched her nose to its smooth face. "See the truth," her voice said to everyone. "See what the Forest Eater really is." Blue light passed from Bella to the oldest Silent One. The Silent One froze. Then it made a sound like crying. "It can see now," Max explained. "It can see that the Forest Eater would destroy both our worlds. It was tricked by the monster long ago." The oldest Silent One pulled its hands away from the Forest Eater. It looked at Bella with its smooth face. Slowly, it put its hands on Bella instead. To everyone's surprise, it began to sing the same song as the friendly Silent Ones. The green light changed to blue. Now the oldest Silent One was helping them. "Everyone together," Max called. His strength was coming back. The song and the light, together. All the humans, all the Silent Ones, and both guardian dogs focused their power. Blue light shot from all sides at the Forest Eater. The song filled the air. The Forest Eater's body cracked open completely. Inside was not blood or organs, but darkness. Pure darkness like a hole in the world. "That is its true form," Bella said. "It is not alive like we are. It is a hole that eats life." The oldest Silent One made strange movements with its hands. The friendly Silent Ones copied it. Together, they pulled at the air like they were closing a curtain. Slowly, the darkness inside the Forest Eater began to shrink. The monster's empty skin fell to the ground. The darkness got smaller and smaller until it was just a tiny black dot. The oldest Silent One cupped the dot in its hands. It looked at Bella and Max. They nodded. The Silent One squashed the dot between its hands. There was a sound like a small pop, then the dot was gone. The Forest Eater was destroyed. Everyone was quiet. The blue light around them slowly faded. The humans changed back to their normal selves. They felt tired but happy. "Is it over?" Hans asked. Max nodded his big head. "The Forest Eater is gone," he said. "It cannot come back." The Silent Ones, both friendly and unfriendly, gathered together. They seemed to be talking in their strange humming language. The oldest one came to Max and Bella. It made a small bow. Then it spoke to everyone's minds. "We were wrong," it said. "We did not understand your world. We did not know the Forest Eater was evil. We are sorry." Schmidt stepped forward. "What will you do now?" he asked. The Silent One looked around at the forest. "We would like to learn," it said. "We would like to understand. Maybe, one day, our worlds can be friends." Max and Bella looked at each other. Then they looked at Schmidt and the other humans. "That," Max said, "is what guardians have wanted for 1,000 years." As the sun rose over the black forest, humans, Silent Ones, and guardian dogs stood together. A new day had begun. A new understanding had been born, and deep in the forest, old guardian marks on ancient trees began to glow blue once again.